Please join me in welcoming to the stage Amanda Beard.
Hello. Hi. Are these the swimmers over here? If you're a swimmer, will you raise your hand? Sweet. Anybody ever swim in their life? Try. I try too. It's one of those things. Well, John just introduced me, so I don't really need to introduce myself, I guess. But my name is Amanda Beard. I am a swimmer. I've been to 4 Olympics, and I have 7 Olympic medals. I've been swimming for 26 years. I've been swimming since I was 4, so please don't do the math. I age myself, I guess, when I do that, but basically, I guess John already told you how tonight's gonna go down. I wanted to just tell you a little story about one of my swimming experiences and then open it up for questions, because I think the most fun part of these type of situations, especially when we have a smaller, more intimate group like this, is just asking questions. And I want to just put this out there now is please don't be shy. I'm the one that's standing up here with the podium in front of you guys, so please don't be shy. Ask anything that you want. I saw some tweets before I came here, so I know that some people know me for other reasons than swimming. I'm not a shy person. I don't embarrass too easily. But you can try to embarrass me. Go for it. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about my swimming career. I started swimming when I was about 4 years old. I have 2 older sisters who swam, and any of you who have older siblings probably felt the same way, where you wanted to do absolutely everything that they did. If my sisters played soccer, I was going to play soccer. If they danced, I was going to dance. They just happened to be swimmers as well. So I joined a team actually when I was 4 years old. 4 years old. Started competing, and I just absolutely fell in love with the sport. I thought it was one of those things where I just felt very natural in the water, very at home. I was just joking around backstage that I'm super clumsy on dry land. You know, like me wearing heels is a bad idea. I'm surprised I didn't trip and fall on my face coming out here. So me being in the water, perfect fit for me. So I started swimming. I was okay swimming, but I was 4, 5, 6 years old and just did summer league and had fun with it. And by the time I was 10 years old, I became undefeated in the summer leagues for about 3 years. And my parents were like, well, maybe we should bump her up and have her do, you know, year-round swimming or club swimming. And I was like, yes, please. Like, I just wanted to swim every single day. And when I was about 11 years old, they put me into club swimming. I know a lot of the non-swimmers were like, I have no idea what she's talking about. And the swimmers were like, me. I started year-round swimming when I was 11. And what I realized was, in summer league swimming, I was undefeated. I thought I was the coolest chick out there, had all the records, was doing awesome. And then they throw me into this new group, and I was the worst person in the pool. I couldn't finish the sets or make any of the intervals. I couldn't keep up with everybody. I felt like I was drowning because everyone felt so much bigger than I was, and their waves were so huge, and I just felt like I was swimming in an ocean. I was like, oh my gosh, I hate swimming. This is so horrible. But I kind of tried to stick with it, and I started very slowly. The one thing about me was I was a butterflyer. And for everybody that doesn't know butterfly, it's the one where your arms go over, and it's a silly stroke. No one should ever do it. But my breaststroke, which is the one that looks like a froggy stroke, was completely illegal. Every time I swam it, I got disqualified. I could not swim it to save my life, and my coach was absolutely embarrassed of me. So every single day, he made me stay after practice and work on my breaststroke. He's like, I don't care if you get dead last, you just cannot get disqualified. Fine, whatever. So we stuck with it, and all of a sudden things slowly started to come together. And my breaststroke started getting a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. And over time, all of a sudden, I could hardly swim butterfly anymore, and I was a complete breaststroker. And by the age of 12, I was dropping time so rapidly that, you know, I went from, you can ask tons of questions if you don't understand my jargon, but I went from a junior national cuts to a senior national cuts to Olympic trial cuts. And then all of a sudden, when I turned 13, I made the USA national team. And I was the top 2 in my events in the whole United States at the age of 13. And I'm 13. All I'm thinking is, I like to swim, it's fun. I like to do this every day, I work out, la-di-da, no big deal. By the time I was 14, I went to the Olympic trials, and I ended up making the Olympic team in 2 individual events and a relay. So, anybody know where the 1996 Olympics were? Yay! Okay, good. Was everyone born in 1996? Thank you. That doesn't always happen, so, okay, good. Okay, so 1996 Olympics roll around. I ended up getting 2 silvers and a gold. I won the gold in a relay. And I remember after one of my silver medals, after you swim, you go into a press room and you do tons of interviews. It's basically a situation just like this. You sit on a stage, you have a microphone, but all of you guys will be reporters from all over the world and all over the country. And they just start like firing random questions at you, asking you, you know, how did you feel about that race? This, that, this, that. And I remember one question. I'm 14. I just won a silver medal in my very first Olympics. And this reporter goes, how does it feel to lose? And I sat there thinking, lose? Like, what have you done lately? I have a silver around my neck. I was completely, I mean, at 14, it's hard to not be kind of snotty back to him, you know, and kind of just like, I was like, I didn't lose, I have a silver medal. That's pretty darn good. I'm very happy with that. The girl that beat me was 12 years older than me. So I'm gonna be okay, it's okay, I didn't lose. But it was my first kind of experience with that kind of negativity, I guess. Just encountering something where I was so on top of the world and very excited about, and instantly got knocked off my pedestal by one little question. And although, you know, probably I had 30 or 40 questions that were all very positive and great questions that were asked me in that same situation, I only remember that one question that was asked. It was the only negative one, it's the only one that I remember. Well, I go home from that Olympics, and I don't know, I was going into my sophomore year of high school, and I don't know how a lot of you guys felt when you were in high school. For me, I wanted to just go right back into school, blend in, you know, let's forget about the Olympics. I don't want anyone to like really talk to me about it. I want to just focus on being a normal high school kid, you know, worry about trying to find a boyfriend and going to proms and things like that. Well, my girlfriend calls me the day before the first day of sophomore year and goes, you're gonna be really, really pissed off. I said, oh great, what? She's like, well, the principal arranged to have you picked up in a Bentley and dropped off in the front of the school, and the whole school is gonna be in front of the school, and the media is gonna be there, and they're gonna do a whole assembly right there for you. I just remember thinking like, are you kidding me? So I made her come over, spend the night, ride in the Bentley to school with me, and I remember my principal, I get out of the Bentley, and I had 3,000 people in my high school, so I get out and I'm like, hey, I'm blending back in with everyone, hi. And my principal's, you know, giving a speech to the media and all the students and talking about how excited and proud, and I remember just standing up there like shaking, not knowing what to do, and I just started bawling. And I had to play it off that I was just overwhelmed with emotion and just so excited and so proud and so thankful for everyone's support, but I was just feeling so much anxiety and nervous and stressed at that moment. that I couldn't handle it. I just broke down. The next couple months kind of continued that way. I got to go on the Jay Leno show and do a bunch of media. And then I really quickly started to struggle trying to keep up with this and deal with this, and being a 14-year-old and trying to balance high school and a media schedule. That by January, after the Olympics, so January of 1997, I told my family that I was done swimming because I can't keep up with this. Every time I show up, I feel like I have the expectations that everyone wants to see this little girl who won at the Olympics and did all these great things and this and that, and I dive in and I can't perform that way. I can't keep up, and I can't live up to those expectations. So I said, I'm done. I'm over this. It's not fun anymore. I'm gonna quit swimming. And my parents were both extremely supportive. I thought that they would be more like pissed, or, oh no, you don't really want to quit, you're just having a bad day, just, you know, stick through it, push through it, it's okay. But I think they saw it over time really starting to weigh on me. And in January, I just totally broke down and said, I'm done, I'm quitting swimming, I want to just be a normal high school student, I just want to have fun with my friends. And so that's what I did. I called my coach and I said, you know, I'm not having fun anymore, I'm done, I'm gonna quit. And he said, okay, well, I understand. I'm gonna come over to your house, we can talk, we can hang out, we can talk about this a little bit. I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But then I kind of continued with not swimming and trying to be a normal high school student. And what I realized was, and the swimmers know how much time swimming takes up in your life. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I was waking up at 5 a.m. for practice. I'd be swimming from 5 to 7 and then go to high school all day. My high school and my swimming pool were at the same location. So I was at the pool in the high school from 5 a.m. till 7 p.m. You know, Monday through Friday, and then about 4 hours on Saturday morning. And all of a sudden I had all this time. And I thought my friends were doing a lot of really cool things while I was working out. I thought, oh, they're totally going to the mall or movies or doing amazing stuff. I'm missing out on everything. And my friends weren't doing anything. They were going home, sitting on the couch, watching TV, you know, doing homework, studying. And it's really not what I wanted to do with my extra time. I wasn't the best of students, so giving me extra time to study wasn't really what I wanted. About 3 months go by where I quit swimming, where I realized that I was more miserable not swimming. And so I called a little conference meeting. I called, you know, my mom and my dad and my coach together, and I said, listen, I want to swim because I'm bored out of my mind and I absolutely miss it, and I miss my friends on the swim team, and I miss all the stupid little moments that we have for those 5 seconds when we're on the wall and we're trying to catch our breath and we can say like one word to each other. I miss those moments, you know, but I hate competing. I hate trying to live up to the expectations, you know, or trying to break records, or trying to get first place every time that I swam. I'm miserable trying to do that. So I want to work out, and I want to stay in shape, but I'm not going to compete. And I think probably my dad and my coach kind of giggled about that, because if any of you have ever played or ever play a game ever with me, I will kick your butt, because I am way too competitive. And so they kind of I think they totally just like, sure, okay, yeah, you're not going to compete. But I went back into it just with this refreshed attitude of, I'm going to swim because I love it. Why did I start swimming in the first place? Because I loved it, I was passionate about it, I felt at home when I was in the water, I enjoyed it, just felt really alive while I was doing it, and that's why I want to go back into it. I don't want to go into it to try to win every time I dive in the pool, or try to break more records, or have more medals around my neck. I want to swim, I want to be a part of this because it's absolutely something that I live for. This is my love. And I didn't compete for maybe like a month before I started getting back into competition. So my dad and my coach were definitely right, but I wasn't swimming very well. I was getting, you know, swimming very well is going from being first in the United States to being about 8th in the United States, which is not that bad. But 8th place wasn't getting me on national teams. It wouldn't make another Olympics. And this is all starting to round off towards my senior year in high school, and I start looking into colleges to go to, and I ended up going to the University of Arizona, who has a very strict and insane reputation for being a very intense swimming school, which I got myself into something. I was so scared out of my mind going into something like that because I heard just how much they do constantly, and swimmers for they were throwing down like 10 grand a workout and a lot, just way too much. So I start at the University of Arizona, and I'm still not swimming that great, but I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying being in college for the first time, my new coaches, new friends in the pool. And then, just as time goes on, everything starts clicking again, and just I'm having fun. I'm not thinking about, me or my performance. I'm really focused on my team's performance and how we're gonna pull together and try to, win our conference or win NC2As or, whatever swim meet or dual meet we had along the way. And my freshman year ended, and that summer was the 2000 Olympics. Anybody know where the 2000 Olympics were?
Austria.
No?
Australia.
Australia, yeah. Sydney, Australia. And I was going into these Olympic trials right around 8th place. And for anybody who doesn't know swimming, at the Olympic trials, we have to get first or second in our event to make the Olympic team. So you basically have to be first or second in the whole United States to make the Olympic team. And I was 8th. Not gonna make an Olympic team with 8th. So I go to Olympic trials, and my very first race is the 100 breaststroke. And the 100 breaststroke is 2 laps in the pool. And so I step up on the block, and I made it into the finals for the 100 breaststroke. I'm in lane 1. So, there's this lane 1, and the other 7 lanes, you can't really see people very well. And I remember standing up on the block, just, oh, I can't even see the rest of the people in the pool. This event's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna be able to catch my breath. These girls are so much bigger and stronger than me. Like, oh, what am I even doing here? I'm thinking these things while I'm standing on the block about to race. And then they say, take your marks. So, I get ready, and then they start us, and I dive into the water. And I'm swimming, and all I'm thinking while I'm swimming is like, oh, look at, they're already way ahead of me. Like, there's no way I can catch up. And I hit the first wall, and I turn, and I'm already feeling so exhausted. I'm just like over it. Just get this event over with. I don't even want to deal with this anymore. Just want to touch that wall, be done. And these girls are just way too fast. I can't even compete with them. And so I touched the wall, and I didn't even want to look up at the scoreboard because I knew it was a disaster. And I have to. I turn around, I see the number 8 by my name, and I just remember thinking, oh my goodness, like, put the goggles on, go to the warm down pool, and don't talk to anybody. Like, I was so embarrassed. I just didn't even want to, like, see anyone. And I just went and had, like, a meltdown, in my own little world. And then that night, my family wanted to take me out to dinner to kind of, like, make me feel better about what just had happened and stuff. And my 2 older sisters basically started making fun of me. And they're like, oh my gosh, you looked so awful out there. What were you even doing? I was like, I know, I sucked. You guys don't have to rub it in. I get it. Like, I got last, and it was awful. And they're like, no, you look like miserable. You're standing up there, you're like, sad face, all grumpy, like, oh, I was gonna go swim now. And they're like, gosh, it just, like, it wasn't fun to watch at all. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, calm down. Like, I feel really bad. Like, you don't have to, like, lay into me like that. You're like, I don't think you get it, Amanda. my family, there's always like about 30 of my family members that fly to all of these swim meets. So I have this amazing support crew. And my sisters are like, we don't fly here and, you know, come out here to watch you win or do this or do that. We come out here because we love to see what you do. That smile on your face and you jumping in the water and racing and just enjoying the moment and going after it. You know, ever since you were 4 years old, the reason you started swimming was because you loved it. You enjoyed racing and competing and just running people down and having fun with it. That was the enjoyment, and we enjoy watching that. It's like, oh, well, I thought you guys wanted to see me, you know, win and break records. And I'm like, well, that's great, but we like to see you have fun with it. Smile, enjoy it, you know, walk out to the blocks and wave to people and have fun. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you have to be here in front of this crowd. And so my sisters basically like smacked me around and said, you have one more race. You have the 200 breaststroke. It's your best race. We want you to go out there with a smile, and who cares how you do? We're gonna love you. You're gonna be healthy afterwards. Who cares? Just go out there and have fun. And so it kind of sunk in a little bit. And the 200 breaststroke came around, and I was walking out for the 200 breaststroke final, and I think I was seated about, I can't remember exactly, 3rd or 4th place for this. So I'm walking out to the block, and I remember exactly what my sister said, just like, smile, have fun. So the first thing that I did was find my family in the crowd, and like, they're all like drunk and acting totally stupid. Shouldn't like admit that they're with me, but you know, wave to them, give them my little thumbs up, and like, they're just like, ah, going crazy up there with all their same shirts on, and so but it relaxed me. And then, so I'm standing behind the blocks for my 200 breaststroke, and the 200 breaststroke is 4 laps. And I step up on the blocks, and I'm like, okay, take a couple deep breaths, let's just do this. You know, it always hurts, who cares, don't even think about that. Dive in this pool and swim your heart out. And so they say, take your marks, go, and I dive in, and I'm swimming the first lap, feeling awesome, turn for the second lap, still feeling really good, feeling pretty strong. I can tell that there's some people behind me, so that's always fun. Turn for my 3rd lap, still feeling okay, but starting to get a little exhausted and tired. And you know, if you've ever done any sort of sport, when you get to that point of exhaustion where you start gasping for air, and swimming doesn't help because you don't get a lot of oxygen, and you start kind of almost losing feeling in your arms and your legs. You're just like overwhelmed with pain, basically. So I turn for my very last lap, and I'm underwater, and I start doing, have you guys ever tried to hold your breath for a really long time, and you start like kind of like gagging underwater? Like, okay. So I'm like gagging underwater. I desperately need oxygen, so I finally like pop up and take this huge gasp of air, and this is my last lap, and I'm just trying to like, okay, just go, like, this hurts so bad, but you gotta keep going, just 1 lap, almost done. And I remember about halfway through my last lap, I just get goosebumps all over, and I'm like, oh, what? I've never gotten goosebumps while I've swam before, so this means one of 2 things. 1, I'm doing amazing, and my body's already like getting excited. 2, I'm about to like puke, and I'm gonna have to hang on to the lane line and rest. So luckily it wasn't the second one. I finally hit that wall, but the same thing, I just didn't want to turn and look at the scoreboard because I was like, I have no idea, you know, I have to get 1st or 2nd to make an Olympic team. I'm just sitting there just like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So I turn really slow to look up at the scoreboard, and I see the number 2 by my name, and I just like jumped out of the pool as fast as anyone has ever jumped out, and my friends tackled me on the pool deck, and I started just like bawling. I was like, I don't even know like how that just happened. I'm not even supposed to be here, right? Like, I shouldn't even be in the finals at this race. And I go out with my family again that night, and they're like, okay, so what's the difference here? Like, what was the difference? You know, I'm the same athlete. Nothing happened within those day or two. I didn't all of a sudden become stronger or fitter, or my endurance didn't like all of a sudden kick in, and it was obviously just how I approached it. For my first race, I already talked myself out of winning. I walked up to the block and I was like, oh, I can't do this, I won't be able to do this. I had so much negativity going through me, and I hadn't even competed yet. For my second race, I walked up and I was like, who cares? Let's just do this, let's have fun. Like, I've trained for the last, X amount of years of my life for just this one moment. Like, why would I give up on myself right now, these final seconds before I race? And I kept that positive loop going through my head and just, waved to my family and stepped up on that blocks, dove in and had a blast. And the change of attitude definitely helped me make that second Olympic team. And so it's kind of a routine for me now. Whenever I compete, I always wave to my family. I guess even if they're not there, I wave to someone, hey, and give them the thumbs up and just try to have a blast with it. And I think that this can really roll over to anything that you do in life, whether you're an athlete or a student, or you're a working man or a working woman, because we always kind of push ourselves to be great, but we also are extremely hard on ourselves. And you have to take a step back and remind yourself why you are where you are, what things that you love, the passions that you have, and why you try to wake up every single morning and try to do something better and motivate yourself every single day. And I think that the one thing that we need to always remember is just to not be too hard on ourselves, to allow ourselves to fall down. It's a great learning experience because it makes us so much stronger and makes the successes in our life so much sweeter. And I've continued swimming with tons of ups and downs and a roller coaster of a life. But one thing is I just absolutely love it and have fun, and it's one of the best things that I could have done. If I would have quit, and like I did for those 3 months and never have jumped back in the pool, it would have been the easiest thing in my life. But it would have been something I would regret for the rest of my life. So I hope all of you can, I love all the swimmers, sorry. I heard that you guys have to drive kind of far to your pool. You guys pile up in a van and head down to the aquatic center. How many workouts do you guys have to do a week? Being shy? Six workouts a week? No mornings? How many workouts do you have to do? So you're totally paying attention. Perfect. How many workouts do you guys do a week? It's like, I don't remember. 8? Okay, very cool. So now I would love to open it up for questions, you guys. I think they have a microphone.
Yeah, Josh?
Thanks.
I just wanted to know, facing adversity from the Olympians, considering that you were so much younger and maybe that chastised or anything like that, as a sort of thing?
Oh yeah, that is a great question. She asked me, basically being so young on my first Olympics, I was 14. The average age on the team was probably right around their early 20s. And I felt extremely left out of a lot of situations, especially once the Olympics were over, because a lot of the athletes go out and they go out and have a good time, and their curfews are I think it was like 4 a.m., and my curfew as a 14-year-old I think was 10 p.m. So nobody really wanted to hang out with me. My exciting experience at the 1996 Olympics, I watched Clueless probably 20 times on TV. So while everyone, I would go out and see all the different events during the day and have a lot of fun, but at nighttime I couldn't really hang out with anybody because I was too young, so they would go out and I'd stay in the dorms that we were in and watch Clueless by myself. So sad. And I didn't even know how to do laundry. Do you guys, anybody know who a swimmer named Janet Evans is?
Yes.
I actually didn't know how to do laundry, so she ended up doing all my laundry for me. So And she still reminds me to this day of that. So it was very sweet.
Hi, Amanda. I'm Gabriel.
Hello.
Here, not a swimmer. But my question kind of follows up on Stephanie. Since you joined the Olympics when you were 14, you almost had like an innocent view of it, like, oh, I'm here for fun. But later on, did you start seeing it more competitively? Was it more like, I'm here representing my country? Each time it changed.
Yes. Each Olympics I went to was a completely different experience. When I was 14, honestly, I knew it was a big deal, but I felt like it was a swim meet. I was very naive and oblivious to what was going on around me. I just kind of stood up and dove in the water and would swim. By the time the 2000 Olympics rolled around, I was 18, and a lot of things had changed. I went through a lot of hard swimming and training and just like emotional times and going through high school, and it was a lot harder for me to qualify for that Olympics, and it made me appreciate how amazing to be a part of, you know, the Olympic experience and being a part of that team is. I think if I quit the sport and the only Olympics I went to was the one when I was 14, I'd have no idea really what the Olympics were all about. And just how amazing it can be. You have 10,000 athletes from all over the world basically living in a little city together, and called the Olympic Village, and it's the weirdest place to live for, you know, 3 weeks, because you have boxers who are sparring out, you know, like on the grassy fields. You have speed walkers who are like hauling butt all over the place. You know, you have people that have, I mean, swimmers, we don't have that much equipment. We have a little backpack, but people have, you know, crazy amounts of equipment. And so it's, I would feel extremely blessed and lucky to have been able to continue to different Olympics and really learn to appreciate what they're all about. Hi. Oh no. Okay, so if some of you may know or some of you may not know, okay, in the 1996 Olympic trials, my sisters, because I was 14 and totally, I was a little 14-year-old, first of all, okay? I was 5'2", 95 pounds, like, I have big teeth and a big mouth, and I have kind of grown into them, but back then, not so much. So I was just this huge mouth, like tiny little thing walking up to the blocks, and my sisters used to my sisters just make fun of me all the time. So they dared me to walk out with this teddy bear. Just because everyone, you know, joked around about how young I was. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it, no problem. So this teddy bear was about this, I mean, it was like about half my size. And I walked out with it like all like cutesy, like ah la 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 la. And from that moment on, that teddy bear traveled the world for photo shoots and had its own line of bears. And I still have it, but it's like in a plastic thing at my dad's house. Like, my dad loves to keep all of my junk. He finally just parted with my medals. I finally got those from him. He didn't think I was responsible enough or something to have my own medals with me. So I have my medals. He still has the bear, though. Yeah, getting an Olympic medal, it changes every single time. I think the one thing I remember of, you feel like you're up there forever. You're in front of so many people, and you have, you know, 50 cameras on you, and just, it's very intimidating, and I personally get really embarrassed almost, because you're face, like this much of your face is blown up on the Jumbotron, and then you try to sing the national anthem, you can't mess that up. You know, it's like, you almost like blackout, or like I do. You're like, okay, are we done? Okay. It's really a bizarre, it's an amazing experience, but it's almost bizarre to really like put into words of just kind of the feeling of standing up there in front of so many people, and you just feel all those eyeballs on you. I get really embarrassed, I guess. Yeah?
David, what was your favorite moment outside of
My favorite moment outside of swimming? That's easy. I have a 3-year-old son, so he's by far my best medal, I guess. He's the coolest thing in the world, and he trumps any sort of swimming memory. I think he's the cutest thing in the world, so. I post a lot of pictures of him on Twitter. People probably get really bored of that.